Hi, I'm Linda Mihara, and in today's class, I'm going to show you a really cool model that I designed for the new year. This is the year of the dragon, and so we have a very easy dragon bookmark that's folded from a single sheet of paper. All you need is just a sheet of 6 by 6 inch origami paper and a creasing tool, and that's it. So let's go ahead and get started. So now that you have your sheet of standard origami paper and you want to start with the color side face down, just going to fold it into a rectangle, just really straightforward. My hint here is kind of bring the paper over and hold it lightly in place like I'm doing with my left hand here, using your right hand to adjust and make sure that you're lined up right on top of this triangle or this corner, and then making sure the edges line up. And then once you have that in place, you're going to start from the middle, pull straight down the middle and go from the middle on out, just like this. And that way it doesn't shift and it gives you a nice square or a nice rectangle like this. Follow with your creasing tool to make it nice and flat. So the rule is to do the fold with your hands first and then follow with your creasing tool. Now we're going to rotate the rectangle. I'm going to fold a triangle on one end. So let's go ahead and take this lower right corner and bring it up to the far edge. And fold, just like that. Follow with your creasing tool. This is really important for these following creases because we're actually going to be pre-creasing it to make it collapse in a certain way. So you make that fold, unfold it. Now we're going to fold the other triangle. So we're going to take the other point and bring it over to the other side. Line it up and make your crease, and then follow with your creasing tool and then unfold. So now we have a nice X that is all valley folds, right? Valley folds mean that the paper actually goes into itself, creating a valley in the paper, which is what we have here. Now, it's really important right now is to turn the model over. So turn it over so that the X looks like it's popping up from the table, which is what you see here. What we're going to do is we're going to divide the X in half. So here's our fold line here and our fold line here. So that's our X. And we're going to fold it in half by taking the bottom edge and lining it up with the top points of the X here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Bring it over, line it up, make your crease, and then you definitely want to follow with your creasing tool. This is an important crease here. Okay. Once you have that, you're going to unfold it. And this next maneuver is kind of cool because what you're going to do is lift this paper up from the table, push up from right through the middle from underneath, and it's going to pop up just like that. So it pops up. So it kind of looks like it's starting to form kind of like a pyramid, right? So what you want to do is let's flip the model, bring these edges in like this, and then this top flap is going to come down and should flatten into a triangle just like that. And it's a great way to get what we call kind of a balloon base on one end of the model. So once that's flat, go ahead and reinforce with your creasing tool like that. Next step is to fold the whole thing in half lengthwise. So let's go ahead and bring the edges together like that. And then use your creasing tool all the way down and then unfold. So now you've got this crease in here, which is great. Make sure that you want to have the triangle split like this, because when you do that maneuver, sometimes they both end up on one side. So I'm going to split it so that now we have this triangle up in here. And that's the next thing we're going to work with, or the points of the triangle. So here's our center crease. I'm just going to mark it here. And what we want to do is take this top edge here of the triangle, and you're going to bring it to meet the center crease here. So it's like a paper airplane fold. So I'm going to take that and bring that to the center and make your crease. So it should come to a point, just like a paper airplane. And we're going to do the same thing for the other half of that triangle. So let's take this flap. Again, it's this top edge that's going to come over to meet the center, which is just like that. Flatten it and then follow with your creasing tool to make it super flat. So this is what you should have. Now we're going to fold the corners out at an angle. and we're going to start with the one on the right. So let's take this part of this flap. We're going to fold it off to the right, and we want to use this point here, this corner here, as your pivot. So the flap is going to come out and open like this, and then you're going to flatten it, and it should look like an upside down triangle like you see here, and follow with your creasing tool to make it super flat. So this is what the result, you want it to look like this. And do the same thing for the other side. So we're going to take this, open it up. It's kind of like opening up the flap of a tent, right? Bring it out, and it should end at that point here. Okay, so bring that out, flatten it. So now you have two upside down triangles, and make sure that you flatten it with your creasing tool. So this is what you want to have now. So the next step is we're still working with those two flaps. Now we're going to take the bottom edge of the triangle here, and we're going to bring it to meet this angled edge, folded edge here, using this point as your pivot right here in the middle. So it's going to look like this. You're going to take this and fold it down until that edge meets that folded edge underneath like this. And then follow with your creasing tool after you folded it with your hands. So this is the result. It should look like this, kind of coming out at an angle. And let's do the same thing for the other side. So again, you're taking this top edge of the triangle and bringing it to meet this angled edge of the triangle. So we're going to take this, fold it down, and bring that edge on top like that, and then follow with the creasing tool. So this is what you should have here, the start of the dragon. The next step is we're going to take the model and turn it over to the other side. So let's flip it over to the other side. And you have your center crease that you created in a previous step. And all you're going to do is take these outer edges and fold it to meet the center. So let's take this one edge and bring it to meet the center. You don't want to go over that center crease. You do want to go right up to it. Use this bottom edge to make sure that you're square, okay? And then that will make a nice sharp edge there. So after you've folded that, take your creasing tool. Let's reinforce the crease. And let's do the same thing for the other side. So we're going to take this edge and bring it to the center. You don't have to worry about if you have the excess paper layered, like you see mine here. It's fine. It's on the bottom side of the model. Not really going to be as big of a deal, but just expect that if you're doing this. Okay. So after you do that, fold that, you're going to make your fold or use the creasing tool all the way around so that now it's nice and flat like this. Okay. Next step is we're going to continue doing airplane folds. So now we're going to take this edge here and we're going to bring it to meet the center here using this as your pivot. So we're going to paper airplane these two flaps up in here. Let's take the first one. Again, that edge comes over to meet the center edge. So it looks like this long triangle here, and it comes to a point here. And after you fold it, use your creasing tool, putting that in place. And the same thing for the other side. So it's this top edge that's going to come and meet the center. So just bring that over. There are a lot of layers, so you got to really, like, you know, take care, make sure that you bring everything over so that it meets in the center like this. And follow with the creasing tool after that step. Okay, so this is what you should have. So now we're going to take the point here and bring it down, not to the bottom, but we want to back it off a little bit. We want a little distance. So it's going to look something like this. We're going to bring it down and leave a little bit of distance like that, and then make your fold. And follow with the creasing tool here. And then one final step, we're going to take the nose of the dragon and fold it up and give him a little nose. Okay, so we're going to take just the point and fold it up just a little bit like that. And then let's follow with a creasing tool to make sure it's super, super flat. And that is the model. So now at this point, you can go ahead and let's draw some eyes in it, make some details. You can do any kind of eye. something like that looks kind of cool. And then you could draw a little detail up in here. And maybe a second set of detail. So now you've got your dragon bookmark. So go ahead and find your book. Let's find a page that we're going to mark. So the flat part of the bookmark goes behind the page and the dragon head goes on front. When you close it, what's cool is that nothing sticks out here on top, but it is marked so that you can find your page. So that is my model for the new year, 2024, the year of the dragon bookmark. I hope you enjoyed this model. For more great videos, check out the YouTube channel, Paper Tree SF, and hope to see you again in another class. Thank you and happy folding.